Your hair looks so good.
Oh, thanks. So does yours.
Thanks.
You're growing it out, right?
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean,
it looks really long.
I know. I just got it cut too. It keeps growing, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I have this audition tape that I'm doing tomorrow for, it's for this travel food show host for like a major television network. So I was like, oh my God, I did not want to I wanted to give everything to you and not even be thinking about that. So,
that's so exciting.
I'm so glad that you can do it today. Cause I'm there's no way.
No, that's so exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I probably won't get it, but
yes, you will.
I think I'd be perfect for it, but I don't even know. It could be, something weird where they take you out into the jungles and have you eating spiders. I don't know. Yeah. I might not be right for it, but I think even if I'm not, I think I want to do that. I think I want to get together with my friend Belle and just start a travel food show.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a dream. Just
right?
All the time.
Yeah. I'll come to New York and you can show me around and be on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about you. This is Lindsay Solmer. I'm so excited to finally meet you. She's an actor and model and creative in New York, and she moved here from Canada.
Yeah.
When you're 17?
When I was 17, yeah, just a baby.
Yeah. To be an actor though. So I think it's really impressive. It's such a bold move. And so go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Lindsay. I am from West Coast Canada, so close to Vancouver. I actually used to go to Seattle all the time for dance things and auditions and whatnot. But yeah, I moved to New York City when I was 17, right after high school. I had no fear. It's so crazy when I think back. I'm just oh my God, people are always you just left your family and all your friends. And I was yeah, no big deal. But now when I think back, I'm oh
it's
my
a big
God,
deal.
I was delusional, but it all worked. And I love my life and I'm so happy I did it. But so I moved here 2012 for acting school. And since then I did that school. Then I went to Hunter College, got my bachelor's, was a major in theater. And then I had just mini jobs here and there, did student films and whatnot. And then I kind of met some girls who were in the fashion blogging realm, and they just convinced me to start doing that. And then that kind of turned into some modeling stuff, which I've actually been doing a lot of.
So that wasn't even on your radar then? You weren't thinking of being a model?
No, I've always, well, it's kind of funny. When I was little, I did modeling school. It was so weird when I think back. We did how to walk and food etiquette, which is so odd, but
That's actually really good life skills.
I think back now I know how to fold my napkin properly.
Yeah.
But
do you know continental style eating?
No.
Okay. So I did a show on what men want.
Yeah.
And one guy said he would never date a girl that didn't do continental style dining.
What's continental style?
I guess when you eat the French, you cut with your right hand, you use your fork with your left.
Yeah.
So I try it and I look like I'm 2 years old. I cannot.
That's so funny. I grew up with the left,
Wait, do you just do that naturally? You just
I do that naturally.
You're oh, that's just called eating?
Yeah, that's just how you cut your food.
What's wrong with you?
I will say my mom was super strict in terms of etiquette growing up. So I didn't even know that was the I just
So you're good. You're golden.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, wow.
I still need help. I need to go to your training school.
I should start one.
You should. Oh my gosh, I would take it. I'm down.
A virtual class.
Yes, that would be so fun. Okay, so sorry. Go ahead.
I remember where you. Modeling. Yeah, I never really thought about it as a career. I was a dancer before I turned to acting. So I was always used to like that, like being on the stage and whatnot. So modeling to me, I never really thought it as a career, but then I moved here and, with social media too, there's so many opportunities now. And like before I used to think, a model, you have to be like stick thin, like 6 feet tall. Like I'm like 5'6" and not stick thin. So I was like, it was never even a thought in my head. But I think as social media kind of started to grow and, people with like normal bodies and just like normal people were being seen and used for advertisement. Like I kind of was like, this could be something like a platform for me to use, like to get myself like out there. So
basically like did you just start into it sort of with an influencer mentality?
Yeah, kind of.
Like
I guess
you're owning it yourself and you're like, not for somebody. Well, I mean, I guess it is for somebody else because you're working with brands. But sort of that you have creative control over it.
Yeah, you're kind of creating your own content.
So I think it's like a huge allure for people today who want to be influencers. Is like, wow, I can create this content the way that I want to be perceived, the way I want to be known. It's really great.
It is amazing. And I think a lot of people don't realize too how much like work people put into that, like, styling, like creating your own like aesthetic and like how you want to be perceived, like you said. And I think that's really hard because social media, you're not really seeing people's full personalities. So like to get that across to the audience is hard.
Yeah.
So it's like
I heard you on an interview because you did another podcast, which I listened to. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. What was that podcast? Who was
it was with Haley. It's I Mean podcast.
Yeah, I like her. I think she's a great person.
She's amazing. She lives in the city too.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
It was very entertaining. I think on that show you said that with TikTok, it's more real. So you're a little more contrived on Instagram. But like I feel like I'm not getting the right TikToks because I'm like, what? Because like I always see these really like overly done girls dancing and gyrating on the camera. I'm like,
I know.
Like, but there must be another side to this.
There's definitely another side where like people like show their personality. I was actually just looking, I stumbled across this girl. I'll DM her to you. I can't think of her name right now, but she's hilarious. And I just like sit there watching her like all day because she's so funny. But it's interesting because I did Haley's podcast before when TikTok was like booming and before Reels on Instagram. And it's interesting. I've noticed that since Reels has launched, like I jumped on that right away and just started like posting stuff. And like whoever's listening who wants to grow their platform like that, like jump on Reels because I was at 17.k followers and now I'm at almost 27 something in like a month.
Yeah.
So it's on Instagram used to be a very hard place to grow. And now with Reels, you're getting your content out to new people on the Explore page. And so like new people are finding you.
Right. So, I heard you say that actually. I saw you say that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, get into Reels. But
it's seriously the only way to grow on Instagram right now. And I think now that started, I am seeing more like personality and people are able to like, put themselves out there in a more like authentic way than just like posting a photo on Instagram that's like filtered and look really good,
Yeah.
Oh my God, I saw your stories about all the filters too. It's so crazy, them all. Like they totally change your face.
They do. They can. Yeah. And I love that. I think filters are so interesting because, it's like a whole new world, right?
Yeah.
We can see ourselves in so many different ways. I think this is something that celebrities have always dealt with. Like if you think about it, they've always seen themselves airbrushed and filtered and completely different than they are in real life.
Yeah.
You remember like Cindy Crawford, I think was the first model who said like, I wished I looked like Cindy Crawford. Like I don't even look like that.
Yeah.
So now, and I think that's probably why like so many celebrities get plastic surgery. It's not just about the money. It's like they want to look like their image.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's so true. Everything's photoshopped. And it's funny because I remember when I saw your stories and I was like looking at the filters and whatnot. And I was like, oh my God, like when I go back to myself normally, I was like, oh, I'm hideous. Like, how could I look like that?
Because our cameras make us look bad.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, who am I?
I know. Like an ogre. And like I take the filter off and it's like, who am I? Yeah, identity crisis.
It's horrible.
Yeah, but like I feel like you look the same. Like you're very beautiful. Like you look just as beautiful without a filter. So and I can recognize you. Imagine like how many people we will no longer be able to recognize.
Oh yeah, like they meet them in person and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Crazy.
It's crazy. And I think we're going to see a lot more plastic surgery, a lot like mainstream, which is already happening.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like younger, like that, like you said on TikTok, like I see all these like 12-year-old girls and they look like they're like 25. And I'm like,
it's not good.
No, it's crazy. I was like,
it does make you look older. It does.
Yeah, and like younger girls now, because of social media, you know, like they're influenced to wear these certain things and like do their makeup like really like heavy and like, so I feel like, younger, like if I was 12 right now, like, or if I was a parent with like a young girl, like I would like, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have boys, right?
I have 2 boys.
Oh, they're so cute whenever I see them on your stories.
Thank you. Yeah, they're really, really different. My older son doesn't really like to be on as much. My younger son is like a camera whore. Like he will steal the show.
That is so fun.
He has his own social media. So I'm going through it though, because I mean, he gets a lot of solicitations that are really inappropriate. Like I have to stay on top of it. You know, and I really have to also be very careful about what I say about my own body, because even though they're boys, they do internalize the language, you know? I remember the first time my 11-year-old, who's probably 9, and he's like, I'm just so fat. Like this kid has no fat on his body. Like he was born muscular. He was born like a football player kind of looking kid, but no fat. And I just realized at that moment, like I have to change the way that I talk and relate to my own body so that they can change and like love themselves for who they are. And just talk about health, like talk about things in terms of health and fitness and wellness. Mm-hmm. That was really boring.
I know, but like
anyway, so kids are a whole new world too. Yeah. They're growing up in all of this and like navigating through this. And
I know.
My 11-year-old, the same kid, he'll be making like sexy faces on TikTok. Like, he'll be like, I don't know what he does. He's doing like the stuff all the other guys do, you know?
It's so funny because I feel like Instagram or social media was such a girl's world, and it was like maybe negatively affecting women in a way for like body image and how you like show yourself. But I don't know why, but I feel like now I'm seeing more like young teenage guys, like all these TikTok guys that are like posting so seductively and making all these faces. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this?
No, I'm like, dude, you're 11, calm down. Nobody can see that.
It's so funny. It's crazy.
I've had to make him delete stuff for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You cannot post that. Yeah. So anyway, okay. Lindsay, I have so many questions. I had to like stop myself from writing stuff down because I'm like,
ask away and tell me. Sometimes I'll like ramble on, so tell me.
No, it's good. And I edit a lot too, so like I try to just get the best of the best, you know, to like keep people entertained. Okay, so that's cool to know. Like you came as a dancer. Mm-hmm. Every time I move, everything in my house is squeaky. I have like no solid surfaces. I need to work on that.
Oh my God.
So I hope it won't be.
I don't hear any squeaks, so you're
good. Okay.
You're like, okay, I'll keep moving.
Yeah. All right. How did you choose So when you decided you wanted to come to America and pursue your dreams of dancing, mainly and acting.
Well, acting. So I was like 12 when I realized dance wasn't it for me. I still did. I danced up until I was like 17. But I realized it wasn't like my passion. And I found that like I started doing some acting stuff and workshops and like camps. And that's how I transitioned.
Yeah. Okay. But you still love to dance, right?
Yeah. I mean, I want to try and do it more. I mean, it's hard, obviously, with COVID. There's no dance classes. And the classes are so expensive in the city, which is like annoying. But I definitely
you can take like online Zoom courses.
I guess so. I could do that. I do have like space in my apartment. I could do a little dance class.
I think that's the future of dance.
Hey, thank you.
Because you're like sweating and breathing next to everyone. I think there's going to be a lot of things that don't go back to normal.
I know. It's so crazy.
For a while. Now I really want to do a little segue again because I think this is so interesting. So, in the 1900s, we had the Spanish flu, which was not even from Spain, but that's what we called it. Yeah. And so we had our own pandemic 100 years ago. And so when we're looking at the future, when we're looking at the way people dealt with it, because they also quarantined in the 1900s. They quarantined. They're doing the same things that we're doing now, looking for vaccines. I think it is fascinating because when you think about the future of our world, we're like, oh, we're going to have like, plastic bubbles around tables from now on, or we're going to be working out in cubicles in the gyms or all these things. But then when I think back, what happened after the last one, we went straight into the roaring 20s.
Yeah.
We threw caution to the wind.
Yeah.
And like lived it up. And then we went into the Great Depression, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Well, let's forget
I'm thinking like it's possible that it's going to actually, the pendulum may swing the other way.
Yeah.
And we're just like, you know what? F it, we're going to die.
Yeah. It's like, we're all like, hopefully eventually have the vaccine and we're like, screw it. Let's live it up.
Because, we're going to die one way or another.
People always say, like, if you could live in a time, when would it be? I always said the roaring 20s. Like,
are you serious?
Little flapper dresses. Like, I love it.
I love it. So we may be moving toward that reality. We get to live out our dreams.
I mean, we are in the 2020s.
You know what?
Right?
No, true.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking that's a great Halloween idea to go as like a futuristic flapper.
Yes.
Right? Like what would that look like?
That's good. Yeah, what would that look like? Like a bubble around your head and then the flapper dress?
A dance party. Everyone has bubbles just around their head. I love that. Oh, that is brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So where were we? Okay. So how did you decide when you came over? How did you decide to move to New York instead of LA?
Interesting question. So I used to love the movie Center Stage.
Love it.
Yeah. So, and because I wanted to be a dancer when I was little, like I was obsessed with that movie, and I just like loved New York. Like I would watch every movie about New York. And so even when I transitioned to wanting to do acting, I still had this, like, I knew when I graduated that I was moving to New York no matter what.
Yeah.
And I know people always ask me, why not Los Angeles? And I think because I was from the West Coast, I just like wanted to make a big move. I don't know.
Did it just seem like more exotic or something? Like more.
I don't know. I just wanted to live in a city. Like I think because I grew up in like a small orchard town. Like I was like, like in the suburbs, that I was like, I needed like a drastic change. And like I always loved New York, and I don't know, I just never once thought about LA. And my acting school that I went to had the option. They had New York and LA. And I just didn't even think about it. And actually, you know what? My mom went to design school in Los Angeles when she was young. And so she was just like, yeah, like you could totally go there. Like I did it, blah, blah, blah. You'd be closer to home. But she was like, the one thing is like, you do have to drive around a lot. You need a car. Like, like the city, New York City is so convenient.
It
and as
is.
a student, like, you have everything there. So I think too.
Oh my! No, I want to go to New York.
Yeah, you have
just the weather. The weather.
I mean, honestly, I will say the pandemic has. I mean, New York's not the same. It's still good, but it's not the same. It will get back. Like it's definitely.
A lot of people have moved out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and was it you or somebody recently said everything's closing at 10? Like, maybe someone else, but
like you go to a restaurant, like a lot of them, you can't order like alcohol after 10 o'clock.
What?
Yeah. Also, you can't go somewhere and just get a drink. You have to get food because they don't want people like drinking and staying out and not like, so they basically are forcing you to eat too. But yeah, and you can't order.
Yeah, because you used to just be able to go and get drinks and like.
Oh yeah, till like 3 a.m. you could go. Yeah, so now it's like, and it's it's just like, and there's not as many people around, so it just at nighttime it is a little like eerie.
Yeah.
So it's a little sad, but I mean, it is what it is. It'll all get back to normal, and I can definitely feel it getting back a little bit to normal, but then obviously there's like some outbreaks again now.
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
That's really recent. Right?
I know. So like, who knows what's going to happen
I've had to turn off the news. Like I can't, I read it on my phone. I'll read headlines. But like my friends who watch the news don't leave their houses.
Yeah.
They get everything delivered. Like, they're terrified.
Like always all day going and they just like, it's so repetitive and you get yourself in this like crazy state that like
it's true. And it's not accurate. It's sensationalized. They have to pull you in. This is ratings. News is reality television. They need you to keep coming and not turn it off. And so it's ridiculous. So like I always get onto my parents for watching it. I'm like, do you still watch the news? Who still watches the news? Peer pressure. Yeah. So but I did hear about that. I heard that there's kind of the virus, but then what do you think about Trump? Okay, this is going way off subject. What do you think about Trump, like, bouncing back so quickly at his age?
I know.
What can we believe anymore?
I swear I don't trust anything anyone tells me anymore.
Exactly.
I don't know. Sometimes, like, I just need to move back to Canada. Sometimes, I'm just like, so
this isn't even my country.
Everything. And yeah, exactly. Like he got better so quick, and obviously he's going to get the best of the best medicine.
Yeah,
everyone should be getting that, or like did he have it? I don't know.
I know. I'm going to do a podcast on Melania. I have been studying her life, like really in depth, and I feel like I can do a really good job. I feel like I can really do this justice. I think I understand her. Donald Trump, on the other hand, not so much.
No.
And I don't know why. I always love playing devil's advocate,
I do that too. I always see both sides. My friends hate me. I like tell them the other person's side, but then I'm like, I always have your back, but I'm going to tell you what they're probably thinking.
Yeah. Oh, I do the same thing.
I'm such a Libra. Like I always do that. Yeah.
Is that a Libra thing? So I have an Aries, like Aries, Gemini.
Aries and Libras get along really well.
I feel that. Yeah, but I do. I don't like to, I like to humanize villains. I think I use that in my writing. I'm also writing scripts that I'm really excited about. I was acting for a long time and then I started writing and fell in love. Yeah, so I have big plans, but
I took some playwriting classes in college and I loved it. I'm definitely not a natural writer, and it was one of my fears, but I took the class to get over my fear.
Yeah,
and I actually loved the process, but I mean, I give people so much credit that can write. So
it's a lot of work. Like, I don't think anything good comes easy.
No,
I feel like these scripts will come out in 10 years from now. It'll be like the arc day triumph of my life.
Yeah.
But for right now, I'm just like, the 2 kids are a lot. 2 restaurants, 2 kids.
Yeah. Also, I didn't know you had the restaurants. I just found that out yesterday. I was like looking at your page.
Yeah, I don't talk about it a lot. It feels amazing. Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely challenging and a lot of work. It's really fun. I do like customer relations, our social media, a lot of our marketing, our design.
Oh, great.
And then my husband does the rest. So
I mean, hospitality.
Like a 70-30.
Yeah, hospitality is crazy. My ex-boyfriend owned a restaurant, and it was just like seeing behind the scenes and everything that goes into it is crazy. There's a lot, especially right now with the pandemic. Like, how is it going? Is it slower or is it?
I mean, for us, definitely I don't actually think it really, there was a moment of lull when the grocery stores were sold out, emptied out. And definitely there was a time when everyone was just panicking, but I would say that lasted for maybe a couple weeks at the most.
Yeah.
And at that time, I realized like this is a time it's really important to reach out to all the communities, let them know we're open, we're still serving, we're following the CDC guidelines, we're safe. We've always like set a standard for cleanliness in our kitchen because we do gluten-free and vegan and we serve celiacs, which is very rare.
Yeah.
So we have, So I don't like love talking about it only because I feel like I'm whoring it out or something. Like, oh my God, do you know what I mean?
I get it.
I'm super proud of it, but I don't want to just become like an advertisement for our work. I do that, and it's in a different lane of my life,
Yeah, totally.
So I definitely loved bringing all the communities together. I love pimping it out on our Instagram page and like with the people who love us and our community. Just like I try to keep my Instagram like separate. Like that's my life.
I get that.
Yeah. Okay. So lots more questions. How much time do you have? We're like on question 3.
I know, it's so funny. I could go till like 6:30.
6:30? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a half an hour?
Yeah, that's half an hour.
Okay. Okay. So are the people in New York like as friendly as they I'm just kidding. Are they are they cold? Yeah.
It's so funny because my answer now is probably very different than my answer when I first moved here. I remember when I first moved here, I would like be walking down the street, I'd pass someone on the sidewalk and I'd smile at them.
Yeah.
And like, I'd be like, wow, like they didn't smile back at me. Like,
they're like, what's wrong with you?
Like, I'm from Canada. Like everyone says hi to everybody. Like,
Yeah.
And I remember like being on the subway, everyone has their headphones in, they're looking down, like,
right.
So that's that. And then now, as I call myself maybe a New Yorker now, like almost 9 years, I don't know if people aren't mean. People are just like very focused on what they're doing.
Right.
Which I guess could be also kind of cold, but I don't know. Maybe I've turned into that, I guess. What?
They're just being productive.
They're just being productive. And I think too, like, also in the city, you have to be careful. There's a lot of weird people. Like, if you smile at someone random, like, you don't know what's going to happen. So, like, I kind of get it. Like, you know, you kind of have to keep to yourself a little bit because...
Oh, my God. You had that weird experience.
Well, that happened to me, too. I made eye contact. I mean, I didn't smile at him, but I made eye contact with him. And I think he saw me. And I think, like, blonde hair, blue eyes, girl who doesn't look like a New Yorker... He probably thought I don't know, was from out of town or just I look like this like innocent little girl. And then So, I mean, yeah, New Yorkers, I guess, if you're not.
Wait, what happened in that situation? Because some people might not know.
Yeah, so in that situation, I was walking in a very like safe area of the city. It's, I mean, Lexington between 22nd and 23rd. So very like usually like busy area. And I was walking up the street and this guy like is riding a bike on the sidewalk and kind of comes like towards me. And I had my AirPods and was looking kind of like on my phone. And he was like biking towards me. I like made eye contact with him and then kept walking.
Yeah.
And literally like 10 seconds later, he comes up from behind me on his bike and like cuts me off in front of me. And there's cars parked where like the street is. So I'm kind of like trapped between him and his bike and the cars on the street. And he basically starts screaming at me and was like
you didn't even have time to think, right?
No,
like he just
he literally just like blocked me and was like, can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
He was like, bitch, why are you taking a fucking photo of me? Like screaming. And I like looked up and was like, I was so just like confused. Yeah. I was like, talking to me, like what? And I kind of ignored him and tried to like walk, like tried to get by him. And then he like pushed his bike in front of me again and screamed at me again, like, why'd you fucking take a photo of me?
Because he wanted your phone? Was he just trying to get your
that's
phone?
What I think. I think he wanted me to be like, hey, look, I didn't take a photo of you. Then he'd grab my phone and run. And I didn't realize that till later when I like came home and like called my parents and I was like, oh my God. And I was like replaying in my head because I immediately, I think what got me out of it is I had my AirPods in. So I immediately was like, pretend like you're on the phone with somebody.
Yeah.
So I was like, Mom, sorry. Like I pretended like I was on the phone with my mom.
Right.
And I said to her, I was like, I'm on the phone with my mom. Like I didn't take a photo of you. And I think because I wasn't giving in to show him, like I was pretending like I was on the phone and I wasn't giving in to show him, he like got angry and was like, I'm going to hurt you. You're going to get hurt. And went to get off his bike. And I literally in that moment, like I swore his hands were like in his hoodie. And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh my God, he's going to take out a gun. And like, my brain automatically went to the worst, which is like horrible because I just freaked myself out more. But I mean, I don't know what he was going to do. He like went to get off of his bike and I literally just bolted it across the street. Luckily I was like trapped between like two parked cars and there was like this much room in between them. And this is Lexington. So traffic is going down. Luckily there was no traffic. It was a red light. So I just like bolted it across the street and kept walking and like FaceTimed my friend Tom. But I was so worried the whole time that he was going to come. Like I walked across the street and he just biked away. But I was so worried he was going to just bike up behind me. And I had like 15 more blocks to go to walk home. So I was just like, I felt like I like blacked out. I like, when I think back, I like don't really remember it all, but.
That was so smart though, to say you were talking on the phone. Like, so you got the street smarts.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
It takes to live in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I have never in my years of living here experienced anything like that before. I've had weird encounters with weird people, but like I've never had someone like come at me and like verbally attack me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was the weirdest.
I'm so glad you made it out and you're safe. That was so scary.
I will say
it's traumatizing.
Yeah, I will say I didn't leave my apartment for like 2 days after. Luckily, I didn't have to like go out. So, and my mom kept calling me and be like, Linz, did you leave your apartment? I was like, no.
Yeah.
So I definitely there was like a week or two of being a little like paranoid.
You have like the door buddy on your door? Like,
I don't have the door buddy.
No, you do.
I do have the doorbell. I have an alarm system.
Awesome.
I have a doorman, so that's...
You have a doorman. Okay, that's even better.
So I feel very safe here.
That's good. Okay, so you got to New York. Okay, how hard was it to get your agent? So you got an agent last year, right?
Yes. So and especially being Canadian and with like work too, like I couldn't make money here without a working visa. So like when I was in school, I couldn't bartend or be a waitress or anything to make money. So like I'm very lucky my parents have helped me. But I had to wait till I graduated school to get a working visa to even work, to even get an agent.
Was that hard?
It was, yeah. Like the visa process here, it's insane and so hard, but it's possible. So it's just like, I feel like they wean people out because it is so hard. But if you want it, like you can do it. But yeah, I met my agent Jacqueline through a friend. We were like doing my friend at the time had this like site where she interviewed just like women who are like entrepreneurs and whatnot. And Jacqueline was one of them. And I was kind of just like there that day. And me and Jacqueline started talking, and she was like, oh my God, like I didn't know you were trying to be like an actress. Like once you're done school and have a visa, like call me and I will sign you. And she was in the city at that time, but she moved to Chicago where her family is the year I graduated. So there was a bit of time where I was like, I don't know, like, should I sign right away? She's not here in the city. But she is amazing and knows like me and knows what I want. And I just trust her so much that I realized like, no, I need to like stick with her. And it's so hard to get an agent. So I was like, you know what, this is like amazing. So she's in Chicago. So she is my like main agent, but then she also got me my New York agency. So that's been amazing. So
you have two then.
Yeah. So I have 10 management in for like the Midwest, and then I have Stewart Talent for New York.
Do you have to fly to the Midwest?
No. So with everything now too, everything's like virtual. Like when you audition, it's all self-tapes now. So if I booked a job, I would go to Chicago or whatnot. But she also books me a lot of gigs like here in New York and whatnot.
Okay, and there's no conflict between the two agencies, though?
No, because Jacqueline is like my mother agent, so she, like, whatever I do with the New York agency, she is, like, CC'd on, and she's involved, too. So, like, they have a deal. Yeah.
So they've worked it out.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. But then I'm also like, now it's so crazy. Like now I'm like, okay, should I get an agent on the West Coast? And Vancouver is like huge right now for filming.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like that's my next step is get a Vancouver agency because like everything's filming in Canada really right now. My mom was like, Lindsay, I just met like this person. They're like, all these productions are going on. She's like, come home. And I'm like, all right, Mom, calm down.
Yeah.
But I mean, eventually West Coast is probably my plan. So
interesting.
I love New York, but I don't plan on staying here forever. I definitely see myself going West Coast, whether that's Vancouver or Los Angeles.
Okay. So if you have time, tell me about like how you became a brand ambassador for Margaret. Margaret Josephs.
Yeah. So she's one of the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I started watching last night. I was like, can I binge this whole show before I...
Oh my God, that is so funny. Do you watch any of the Housewives shows?
I'm not really into reality TV so much. I'm trying.
Probably a good thing.
I don't know.
It's probably a good thing.
Like an ostrich with my head in the dirt. Like I need to know what's going on.
It's crazy how much reality TV there is out there and how like people like it's almost like overtaken the whole world, like TV world. Like there's just so much reality TV more than scripted. I feel like sometimes. So with Margaret, my best friend Tom, he was working with her, and that's how I met her. And yeah, we met. Like,
wait, back up. Who's Tom?
Tom is one of my best friends.
Oh, your best friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he worked with Margaret, doing like PR and some he does like, he's like a talent agent in a way for more social media stuff. So he would get her like brand collaborations and whatnot. But yeah, so I used to go to all these events with Tom, and he had like all these like different clients that were like in the reality TV world.
Yeah.
And so I just started meeting all these people, and Margaret one time was basically, she was launching this like clothing line and whatnot, and she needed like a fit model. She needed someone to kind of help her with like social media and being the face of the brand, to like attract a younger like age group. So she basically hired me to do that and be kind of like her brand ambassador. And I was a fit model for all of her clothes. So I was in the like factory or the like warehouse with her, like measuring like all of her clothes are fit to my body, which is so crazy.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that was a fun process. And what was nice is she also, like, I wasn't just like a model for her. She was like, she would ask for my input on like the designs and clothing. So like I would be there with her, like picking out fabrics and different stuff. So that was a really, really exciting and cool process. And then I did like all the photo shoots for that.
Is this like recent or just in the past year? Or?
That was 2018 that all started. Yeah. Okay. So it's been like 2 years that I've been kind of like working with her. And then she just it's so funny. I feel like with COVID, like my time, like I feel like I get like confused with timing, like what was a year ago and what wasn't. Like I'm just like so lost. Yeah. But anyway, she did like a jewelry line launch that she had me help her with, and like modeling. And whenever she has events, like I'll get all my like influencer friends and like have them there wearing the clothes and whatnot. So I'll kind of help her with like promoting her products.
I saw you at the Rebecca Minkoff event. It was on your story with some of the other housewives.
So funny.
I think Margaret is the most impressive though, right? Because she came out with like $20 million and the other ones are like negative 11 million. Like what is happening? I was trying to like get some like details.
I know when you go on the internet, they all say like they have no money or
they're in prison. But Margaret, she's like a champion.
She's amazing. And that's the thing too, is like she doesn't just do the show to get fame or to do the show because she's bored. Like she does it to help promote her company, to help like get herself more opportunities. So she definitely like has a very business driven mind, where I feel like some of the other housewives are just like, you know, they want to like be on TV.
Yeah, kind of more aimless.
Yeah. So that's why I don't think I could work for any other housewife. Like, you know, like Margaret, like
she's respectable for sure.
Yeah, and she's like my mom now. Like she's like literally just like the nicest, sweetest person. Like she doesn't care about like the fame and whatnot. She's just like a good.
I think that comes off. I only watched 2 episodes, but I felt it did come off.
Did you watch the first season or did you watch the last?
I did a little recap kind of thing, and then I started with season 10, which is the current.
Okay, that's good. Then I feel like you see more of like what Margaret's actually like.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't come on for a long time too, so I'm like, is this the wrong show? Like, what's up?
Oh my God, that's so
But but it's entertaining. I like it.
Oh, very entertaining.
Yeah. Okay, I know you have to go. Do you think that we can like do a second like interview like this week sometime?
Yeah.
Totally. I feel like we're just getting started.
I know.
Well, it's so good to meet you.
Yeah, I'm so happy we finally did this.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.